It's still going.
Oh.
Maybe the screen goes to save. I don't know.
I think so. Why is it?
It says
it's
recording. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, thanks for being open to the process. And I know we've worked with coaches before in the past, and you and I both.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. And we appreciate the process.
Definitely.
But we're learning more about being much more collaborative. So I'm excited to explore that with you more.
Well, and that's one of my new things, trying to be truly open door, not just saying I'm, open door, but really like anyone can come in and see things, warts and all, the good, the highs, the lows. It's just, that's how I'm going to get better. So
that's awesome. And do you have a plan for how to give or take feedback on that, or you're just starting with open door and see what happens?
I've done like a lot of trainings. I've been through the cognitive coaching thing, and I mean, I don't think I completed it, but I've gone to some workshops on that, and I think I'm naturally pretty reflective, but I'm trying to be more consciously reflective.
Right. And bringing that back to the classroom, since that's what we're going to focus on today, but I want to hear more about it. Because you're talking about creating a coaching culture here too, or collaborative culture. Because I like to replace the word coaching with collaborative.
Yeah, kind of. Teaching can be so isolated, and that's awesome sometimes. I mean, that's one of the best things about the job, but then it can also be one of the worst things about the job. It took me years to ask for help about, I've been teaching for 20 years almost, and it took me the first 5 before I was not afraid to ask for help.
And so how do you feel about that? You're an extremely talented, creative, and experienced teacher, and you always do innovative and alternative things, get your kids really involved, very student-centered, but yet you're also very open to learning and changing. So what is it you want to focus on or work on in regards to?
The last couple observations I've had with administration, it was pointed out, and I've been thinking about this myself, that I don't have much of a protocol for working on when the kids are doing independent work. Direct instruction, I feel fairly confident. I feel great about designing interesting and challenging projects that are purposeful. But sometimes when the kids work independently, I feel like it's a little haphazard. A lot of me cheerleading at the side rather than strategically helping them. Does that?
So do you feel that you're working harder than you should? If you're cheerleading, you feel like some of that energy should be shifted more to them with their project, or what would you like to see different rather than you?
It's not that I think there's anything wrong with cheerleading, but I'm working on some independent projects right now where the kids, we've been studying culture in all its different permutations, and now they're making a sculpture, or not a sculpture necessarily, but a 3-dimensional piece of art that represents their culture and subcultures that they are a part of. And I feel like I'm just sort of wafting through the room. They have a rubric, and it's a decent rubric. It's quite a simple rubric. I might be making a problem where there isn't one. I'm not sure, but I would like someone to observe my kids working independently and me. I guess I want to be observed so that someone can see it through their eyes and tell me what they see I'm doing. Because it could just be that it's coming a little more naturally now.
Maybe you're looking for a problem. Could it be?
It could be that I'm looking for.
And you're feeling like you need to be
like I should be doing something.
Rather than enjoying the process.
Yeah, and rather than only if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Do you think there could be a place maybe there's a place for you to grow in this process, and perhaps there's a new step to be added for you in terms of your coaching and collaborating with them? Perhaps there's a place or a line of questioning you could be doing rather than cheerleading questioning.
I like it. It's the same thing I do with writing.
Exactly.
The same thing I do with writing, I can do with visual projects or artistic projects. Or
I heard you earlier
that's
saying to your origami kids during reading time, that's visual
literacy. It's true. I let the kids, if they, during SSR, if they're reading a book on origami, I let them make the origami. If they're reading a book on paper airplanes, I let them make the paper airplanes. If they're, whatever. If they're reading a book on how to draw manga, they can draw while they're reading it. It's all, I think it's all mixed together. I don't separate the visual literacy from the more traditional literacy.
So it sounds like you could connect and bring that line of thinking to projects more. If you're not in that same mindset with projects.
Maybe what one of the issues is the kids who, they're teenagers, they're high schoolers, and they can get off track at times or not use their time well. So maybe I'm zeroing in on my problem here.
Okay.
Maybe the problem is more a motivational thing for the handful of kids scattered around the room who, for whatever reason, are not engaged in the process. And I am truly cheerleading them. And I could be more focused on those kids, because some kids just take off and do their own thing, and they're fine. They don't need me as much, which I guess is the goal.
Exactly.
So this handful of kids that are scattered around, I need to develop this line of questioning, guiding questions, sort of. I think, there might be something to that.
And it sounds like perhaps there's two issues going on, and you're merging them into one.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you're using the kids who are doing well as almost an out loud model, like, hey, good job, like,
hello, listen in on this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a way to target that more strategically to be a model, rather than being a passive-aggressive kind of.
Exactly.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and then
do what this kid does.
Exactly. And then through the insightful questioning that you so naturally already do, bring that thinking to mind to the kids who are struggling and find out why they're not motivated. Because usually it's not motivated, as you know, with so many years of projects, that it could be perhaps something else. Not having an idea or feeling intimidated by
feeling like I'm not creative, I can't draw, I don't know anything about anything. Yeah.
And yet they're usually bursting with trying to find a way to bring that out in them.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
And it's really not that different from any process. I like the connection I made with the writing.
Yes.
Because I do use questioning. Instead of telling kids what to do in writing, I try to ask questions that lead them in a direction. Yeah. And I always make the point that it's their paper. And this is their sculpture or their piece of art that they're creating.
There's no right or wrong.
And that they can take my advice, but ultimately they have to make decisions. So.
And perhaps they do feel a little overwhelmed by that at first.
Yeah, because I don't think that's very common. Most people want a right answer.
Exactly. That's how they've been trained up till this
and
point.
it's like I balance that too. It's like you always have that little test voice in the back of your head,
And your rubric is guiding them to a certain point, but it's not a judgmental rubric, right?
No, it's actually, it's from a curriculum that we were given, and it's actually a curriculum that I don't have a lot of problems with it, but it's the first time I'm using it, so I'm trying to make it my own, and the rubric is actually quite friendly, but it's still an academic ease. It's still an education ease. And so I think maybe I need to make it a little friendlier.
Maybe you can leave it as it is, but you could use it as a jumping off point maybe for the questions you might start coming up with.
And I started to do that a little bit, and I think I could do more of that.
And that'll shift their perspective on what the rubric means and not see it as a guide.
Instead of what my tendency is, like, go back and read the rubric. Yeah. And it's like, no, I think maybe I need to sit down with them.
Do you go back and read the rubric? Do you read the instruction manual?
I'm going to take the fifth on that, or RTFM is what my friends say. And I'm not going to say it because a student is filming this, and I won't say what that stands for. RTFM.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm excited. So let's
we'll see the class, see what's going on.
Yeah,
and
I
we'll
hope
talk
I think you're gonna like their projects. They were asking me for supplies, like, I need a basketball for my project.
Cool.
I need pink ribbon. And they had very specific